The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. You've likely heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Today, we'll explore this idea through the lens of Stoicism. We'll discuss 7 types of people who can hinder your progress in Stoic philosophy and how to navigate these challenging relationships. Before we dive in, I'd be grateful if you'd like this video help me continue spreading Stoic wisdom. If you're not subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button and activating the bell so you never miss a video. Type of person number 1. The complainer. We all know that person, the friend, family member, or coworker who always finds fault in everything. Whether it's the weather, their job, or even a meal at a popular restaurant, they never hesitate to voice their dissatisfaction. You might wonder, why should I be concerned? I can just ignore them. Well, that's easier said than done. Constant exposure to such negativity drains your mental energy. It's like a leaky faucet slowly depleting your emotional reservoir. Stoicism teaches us to focus on actionable solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Imagine working on a project with a chronic complainer. Every meeting becomes a session of complaints with no constructive dialogue. This impacts the team's morale, diverts focus from solutions, and can leave you feeling frustrated or even disillusioned. So, how does Stoicism help us handle this? Here are a few strategies. Limit your exposure to them whenever possible. If that's not an option, like with family or colleagues, try mentally distancing yourself during their rants. Think of their complaints as a passing storm, loud, unsettling, but ultimately powerless against your inner peace. You can also steer the conversation towards solutions or shift to a more constructive topic. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This Stoic wisdom helps us protect our mental peace, ensuring that chronic complainers don't divert us from the path of resilience and virtue. Type of person number 2, the drama magnet. Imagine your life as a ship sailing through calm waters, only to suddenly encounter the whirlpool of chaos known as the drama magnet. This person always seems to have a never-ending stream of crises, conflicts, or controversies. You might initially be drawn to their energy, mistaking it for passion or excitement, but soon you'll realize that being near them is like navigating through a storm, exhausting and dangerous. What makes dealing with drama magnets tricky is that their crises often feel like your own. Their chaos is contagious, and you might find yourself involved in conflicts that you had no part in. Take a simple example. You have a friend who frequently falls out with others in your social circle. Today, they're upset with Sarah. Tomorrow, it's Tom. They come to you for advice, and soon enough, you find yourself caught in the middle. How can Stoicism help? Try reflective listening. Instead of offering advice or taking sides, simply mirror their words back to them. For example, so, you're feeling betrayed by Sarah's words. This provides emotional support without dragging you into the drama. Another approach might sound counterintuitive, but it's effective. Be selectively unavailable. Stoicism teaches us to value our time highly. Sometimes that means being unavailable for others' recurring crises. Set boundaries, turn off your phone, create focus periods for your work, and let people know when you're not to be disturbed. As Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Rather than worrying about what crisis will come next, focus on the present moment. Protect your own peace and keep your life on course. Type of person number 3. The naysayer. Picture yourself as an artist, painting a vibrant canvas. Each brushstroke adds depth and life to your vision. Then, the naysayer walks in, takes one look, and immediately begins to critique. Are you sure about that color? That doesn't look realistic. Most artists never make it. Their words, like dull strokes of gray, start to fade the brightness of your creation. This isn't constructive criticism, it's persistent doubt and negativity. Let's say you're excited about pursuing a new career. You've done your research, spoken to professionals, and even taken a few courses. But when you share your enthusiasm with the naysayer, they immediately list all the reasons it won't work. How do you handle a naysayer, especially if they're close to you? An unconventional but effective approach is to ask for their advice rather than just sharing your plans. When people are put in an advisory role, They're less likely to outright dismiss your ideas and might offer more constructive feedback. You can also flip the script with positive confrontation. Instead of absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. If they say, "You'll never succeed in changing careers," you could respond, "How do you think someone could successfully make a career change?" Epictetus reminds us, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening doesn't mean absorbing everyone's negativity, but discerning valuable input from mere noise. Type of person 4, the victim. Imagine life as a game of chess. You're the strategist, making moves and sacrifices toward victory. The victim, however, blames the board, the pieces, or their opponent for every poor move they make. They're always in checkmate, not because of their own choices, but because of some external force. The victim's narrative is a never-ending tale of woe, where they're cast as the helpless protagonist. They say things like, "I can't get ahead in my job because my boss dislikes me," or "I can't get fit because I have bad genetics." While some people face real hardships, the victim we're discussing uses their situation as a permanent excuse, never taking responsibility for their actions. You might find yourself getting drawn into their story, always playing the role of their rescuer. Stoicism would advise you to set clear boundaries. Instead of constantly offering solutions or emotional support, practice compassionate detachment. Listen, but don't try to fix their problems. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." Don't get pulled into their narrative. Take control of your own game, make your own moves, and remember, being perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not a fate. Type of person number 5, the toxic positivist. We've all encountered the toxic positivist, the person who's always exuding sunshine, rainbows, and endless good vibes. They tell you to just be happy when you're going through a tough time, dismissing your feelings with a wave of glittery optimism. Imagine your life as a garden. There are flowers, yes, but there are also weeds and pests. The toxic positivist insists you ignore the weeds and focus only on the flowers. If you're dealing with a tough breakup, they might say, "There are plenty of fish in the sea. Just smile and be happy." This kind of excessive positivity overlooks the complexity of human emotions and the realities of life's challenges. How do you handle this? Engage them in a discussion that embraces both light and shadow. For example, if they say, "Look on the bright side, at least you have your health," you can respond, "I'm grateful for my health, but it's also okay to feel upset about this situation." You can also practice emotional granularity, which means acknowledging and labeling a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. As Seneca said, "True happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Stoicism isn't about focusing only on the positive or the negative. It's about embracing life's complexity with balance and equanimity. Type of person number 6, the manipulator. Picture your life as a movie where you're the main character and you have a clear idea of how your story should unfold. But then comes the manipulator, the shadowy producer who subtly rewrites your script without you even realizing it. The manipulator uses emotional or psychological tactics to steer you in a direction that benefits them. They might use flattery, guilt trips, or even deceit to get what they want. How do you handle them? One technique is fogging, where you agree with the truth in their statements, but refuse to be swayed by emotional manipulation. For example, if they say, "You're so successful, you should cover dinner," you could respond, "You're right that I've been doing well, but let's split the bill as usual." Another method is to set clear boundaries and assertively say no when you're uncomfortable. Epictetus reminds us, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can. By responding differently, you take back control of your life's script." Type of person number 7, the time vampire. Imagine your day as a symphony where each instrument represents a task or commitment, working in harmony. Then enters the time vampire, screeching off-key and disrupting the flow of your life. The time vampire isn't necessarily malicious. They might simply be someone who interrupts your work with trivial questions or invites you to social events you don't want to attend, draining your energy. How do you protect your symphony from these disruptions? Use time management techniques like the Pomodoro method. where you set aside blocks of focused time and make it clear you're not to be disturbed. When dealing with social time vampires, remember, saying no is okay. A simple, "I appreciate the invite, but I can't make it," is all you need. As Seneca wisely said, life, if well lived, is long enough. Time is one of our most precious resources, and Stoicism teaches us to allocate it wisely. In conclusion, as we conclude our exploration of the characters who can derail our Stoic path, remember that self-awareness is key. It's easy to recognize these types in others, but the more important task is to reflect on whether we might be unintentionally playing one of these roles in someone else's life. Stoicism is about navigating the world, yes, but it's also about understanding and improving ourselves. If today's discussion has sparked any insights or thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share your experiences, and let's engage in a meaningful conversation. Until next time, may your choices align with your virtues, may your actions reflect your wisdom, and may your life be the masterpiece you're meant to create.